Good morning, Stampers. It's Teppy Schwartzel, and I am with Arid Desert Designs, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Now, let me just make sure the video is coming up properly. Give some people a chance to get on board, and it's here somewhere. It always takes me a minute to find it. I'm not sure why. Let's go back to posts. I hope everybody's having a good day. We had quite a bit of rain. Well, let me put it differently. I'm about 10 minutes from my sister. She lives further up on the mountain, and we were there last night, and it just poured. Here at our house, we got home about 10 o'clock, hardly any rain. Like you said, we're only 10 minutes away from each other. So that's what it's like here in Arizona, and there we are. And let me put that on mute, and I'm trying to get it on the full page so I can see if any comments come up. Okay, second video today. I did the Card Sketch Wednesday. I had to do it today instead of last Wednesday. Again, work got in the way. I was doing my Facebook Live videos on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Mountain Pacific time, and work's just it's getting in the way of everything. So I am going to try to now do my Facebook Lives on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time right now. When the time changes, we will be back on Mountain Time. Arizona does not change its time. We just kind of float around between Pacific and Mountain Time. So, okay, a little bit of business. First off, this is the current host code. If you decide that you're going to buy anything from me, everything will be listed below in this video or on YouTube, my YouTube channel, or on my blog. There will be links to the products. And if you choose to purchase from me, which I would greatly appreciate, there is a host code. And if you purchase under $150, please use this host code. If it is $150 or over, do not use the host code, because Stampin' Up! Will give you all kinds of rewards. Okay? And this host code will also be on my blog. It changes at the beginning of every month, so if you have a problem with it, contact me and we'll get it fixed for you. One of the things you need to know is that if you earned any of the special coupons in the month of July, you don't have many days to get those turned in. It's $5 a coupon, so that's $5 worth of product that you don't have to spend out of your own pocket. So just letting you know, it ends on the last day of August. And also paper pumpkin for September. You have until the 10th of the month to order that. So if you're interested, I will also have a link for paper pumpkin. Now, today's project is a little surprise. Here's the outside of the card, but I'm not showing you the inside of the card yet. Okay, it is coming from several different areas. First, I'm trying to find the beginning of the catalog. This is from the August-December 2020 catalog, mini catalog. And I am using some stamps and dies out of the Heartwarming Suite. That's on page 8, 9, and 10 and 11. This is a big suite. I'm using paper out of the Poinsettia Place suite. Okay, let me get that out of the way. I'm going to be doing some cutting and everything on my desk today. But this is the paper from the Poinsettia Place Suite. Beautiful paper. And how many pages? There's 12 sheets, double-sided designs. And these are the gorgeous designs. One of the other things in this suite, there's the poinsettia builder is absolutely gorgeous, but also this plush poinsettia specialty paper. It's a flocked paper. It's really pretty. I was going to use this, but I really don't have any very vanilla. So what I ended up using is, that's not it. I ended up using this paper for the card today. But absolutely gorgeous papers, as always, with Stampin' Up. They do a fabulous job. I'm going to put that back. Now, what we are using today is that specialty paper, and then we are also using Real Red, Whisper White, and we are using Old Olive ink. So now what we are doing is using, here is the bundle. How is this set up? This is for this one. Okay, you actually have one bundle and an extra stamp set. And apparently, yeah, there's also an embossing texture sleeve in there. So what I'm using today, I did not use anything from the Warm Hugs. I'm using the Wrapped in Christmas, and I used May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. And what's the other one I used? Which one is that? Hold on a second, sorry. Oh, okay. It's The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. Okay, so those are the two that I'm using today. Plus, I am using, these are the dies. There's a circle die that goes here, and that's what I have out that I'm going to have to use today. All right, so we're going to put that stuff back together. What I've learned with Stampin' Up, especially if you're going to do this as a business, you know, they retire stuff, and the mini catalog, a lot of it does not get carried over into the new catalog. So I'm keeping that separate so that I'm not scrambling in January trying to figure out what should be taken out and put somewhere else or given away. So that's what I'm using today, and I think I'm also using this Real Red sheer ribbon. I believe that's what I'm going to be using. Okay, everything will come up as we're going along. All the measurements and everything will be up on the site. It's going to take me tomorrow. I have to take care of the Card Sketch Wednesday. That'll be put up, and then probably by Tuesday, or hopefully maybe tomorrow, everything will be up for this card. This card's a little bit more complicated, so it's going to take me a little bit longer to get it put up. I don't know if anybody understands the work that goes into, and I'm not complaining about it because I love doing it, the work that goes into when anybody does these videos. It's not just about making the videos, it's about designing the cards, it's about then making the video, then getting it posted everywhere, and getting all the tags and all the listing for the products and everything. I mean, it is a huge project. So I do apologize. I do work, so I really, when I wasn't working, I was able to get everything done the same day, and I just can't do it anymore, especially I'm getting old, so it takes me longer to do everything. So here is the outside of the card. Now, what we've got here is we have a piece of real red, and let me get my cheat sheet. The real red is 8.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at 2 1/8. And I did score it on both sides. I saw a little tip later by Dawn, and what she did is she only scored it on one side, which is probably very smart, because then what you do is, here, I'll score this, I'll score the one side, make sure it all lines up with the outer edges, that it's square. Then what happens is, if you go ahead and score it, it might I had already scored this, so it might overlap it. What you're better off doing is bringing your cardstock over to meet the other side, just shy of there, and then make your own score line. I'm still able to work with that. That way it opens perfectly every time. And you'll notice a little raised lip around there. I've noticed that sometimes with my blades. I just take my bone folder and I push that back down. That'll give you some nice crisp edges. Okay, that's sitting up a little bit. I don't like that. But you can flatten that out with your bone folder. See, now it opens up really nice. Okay, so again, that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 2 1/8, and then I would just fold the other one over, so that this is basically a trifold. Okay, so we're going to put that to the side. Now we have two pieces that are, let me just double check, two pieces that are, 4 by 3.5. Okay, and those are going to be scored at, on the 4-inch side. Okay, and remember, you have two tools here on your paper trimmer. The lighter gray is your scoring tool, your darker gray is your blade. We want to score. I cannot tell you how many times I have cut when I should have scored. So that's sort of like bobbing and weaving. Okay, so on the 4-inch side, which is here, we're going to score it at 1/2 of an inch. And I'm going to, that does not look like 1/2 an inch. All right, we're going to do it this way. Yeah. Okay, I was looking at the wrong thing. So this is 1/2 an inch. So that's 1/2 an inch. I was looking up here. That's meters, centimeters. Okay, there's 1/2 an inch there, and I'm going to score it. Sorry. Clumsy fingers this morning. Scoring it at 1/2 an inch on both pieces on the 4-inch side. Very important. It's the 4-inch side. Okay. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we are going to take a pencil, and we're going to, on the 3.5 inch side, you're going to flip that, on the 3.5 inch side, okay, half of this is going to be 1 3/4. So we're going to put that paper in at 1 3/4. That's right here. It's 1 3/4. That's the longer tick mark right before the 2. And we're going to take our pencil and we're going to go right up the middle there with our pencil. You can, it kind of wiggled there, but you're going to cut some of this off anyway, so you're not going to see a whole lot of that. So because now you've got your score line at the top. That's the 3.5 inch side. 3.5, 3, yep, 3.5. All right, and we're gonna, at the halfway mark, which is 1 3/4, we're going to make a line with a pencil. Okay, and again, that's going to erase. You're not going to see part of this. Then we're going to go on the 4 inch side, and we're going to go to 2 inches. And we're basically going to go to the center here, because what we're going to do is cut up. All right, and we're just going to make a tick mark here in the center on both of these pieces. Again, on the 4 inch side, you're going to put it at the 2 inch mark, and you're going to come to the center, and you're going to mark that. So it looks like this. At the top, you've got your score line, okay, for both of them, and now you've got a cross here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a bigger pair of scissors, because what you're going to do is you're going to cut from this corner up to this score line, up to this intersection, and then from this corner up to that. So we're going to go right from the corner, and it's easier with a longer pair of scissors, because then it's you can get a pretty straight line. So we're going to go right to the center there, and then come over to the other side and cut right to the center. Okay, there you go. And then you can just erase that. It comes off really easy. So it really doesn't leave a mark, and you're not going to see that anyway. Do not throw this away. You are going to use this. There's always a way to use things. Okay, so now we're going to cut this other one. We could always use this as our template if you want. It's totally up to you. I personally am not going to use that, because I'll probably end up cutting the other one and destroying it and having to start all over again. Not fun. All right. Alrighty. Aim for the center, Teppy. It always helps. There you go. All right, again, erase your marks, or erase your pencil marks. All right. All right, put those aside. Put that with your base. Now, now we're going to do the Whisper White. Sorry about that. All right, we've got a piece of Whisper White that is 5.5 inches by 3 inches. And then we're going to do 2 pieces of Whisper White that are 5 1/4 inches by, 5 3/8 inches by 1 7/8. And you're going to do a piece of the DSP, either side, but I like the red. DSP at, this is going to be 5 3/8 by 2 7/8. That's going to go on here, and these 2 pieces are going to go on the other 2 pieces of Whisper White, and that's going to be, those are going to be 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. And what we're going to do is we are going to get our glue out and get those glued down. I don't think I need the trimmer anymore, and I probably don't need the big scissors anymore, so let's get our gluing down. I like to put the long side perpendicular to me. It just seems I'm better at adhering my paper. I try to get the 3 lines with an even framework around that border, as you call it, and that tends to really make it land on there pretty much all perfect all the way around. It looks a little bit off to the left. Okay. Push that down. Put that off to the side. Now we're going to do our other two pieces. Again with your liquid glue. I'm not good with the other adhesive. I even tried it on the label today and that didn't work out very well. Kind of destroyed the inside of my card, so I stay away from it unless I actually absolutely have to use it. All right, so get that centered as best you can. Press it down. All right, get the other one done. And always be careful if this is a directional paper to make sure you've got it going in the right direction. This is a non-directional paper, so there's no problem with it. Right. It still doesn't look like it's in the center yet. Yeah, I guess it is. Okay. Just my bad eyesight. All right, so what we are going to do is these two panels, we are going to adhere to the front of these two smaller panels. We're going to attach these. Again, to get the perfect border, I try to get the end and the two sides lined up, and that tends to give you a really good centering. But I always pick it up and look at it. I like picking it up. It just seems to give me a little bit better perspective. Not that it does real good for me, but I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I'm sure we had flooding everywhere. That's what happens here in the desert. It doesn't take much rain to flood everything here. But we do have terrific drainage systems, so it usually goes away pretty fast. But then we also have the people that decide that they're going to drive through a wash, and they don't realize that 6 feet of water is coming down at them. All right, because, you know, it's all mountains around here, and you have no idea what's happening up in the mountain rain-wise. Okay, so there we go with the outside. Now, what we're going to do with this, I'm going to put my glue away for right now. What we're going to do with this centerpiece is, I've already taken a scrap of Whisper White and stamped it with the May Your Days Be Merry in the Old Olive. All right. And then what we're going to do is we are going to cut out the center of this panel. This panel is going to go inside the card. So let me get my Big Shot. Oh. And no, I have not purchased the new Big Shot. That is available to demonstrators until the end of the month. And at the beginning of September, it will be available to the general public. It's not in my budget. Not yet. So, believe me, we can't all afford to purchase everything that comes out. I wish we could. I have to stand up here because I want to make sure this is fairly well centered. And this is going to shake the camera probably a little bit. Just a hair over. All right. So sorry if this jiggles the camera. And I'm going back through because we're going through 2 pieces of cardstock. And there we go. And this is the cute little circle that we get. And put that aside because you're not going to be using that in this card. Let me put my machine away so it's out of the way. And has anybody figured out what this card is yet? All right, let me put that in my little baggie. All right, now we're going to put dimensionals on the top and the bottom of this, and I'm going to, you're only going to take off the paper backing on the 2 bottom dimensionals. Okay, I think I'm going to put one more in the center here just to give it a little bit more sturdiness. Okay, so what you're going to do is take the dimensionals off of the bottom. And I get that off. There you go. Okay, so we're going to put this in the center as best you can. I know there's a shadow here today, and it's really not to my detriment. All right. Does that look like that's in the center? Nope, it's a little off to the left. All right, bear with me. This kind of has to be pretty close to being correct. All right, how does that look? That looks pretty good. Okay, now what you're going to do is we are going to, remember we had a score line here. We're going to bend that score line, and we are going to take our bone folder and try and get a good crease on there. Sorry, sometimes I have to get it off of the neoprene mat just so I can get a better fold on it. So sorry that this is out of camera for a second. All right, now what I'm going to do is push that back up, and we're going to get tear and tape, and we're going to put the tear and tape right here just above the score line, okay? On both pieces. Okay, and I believe we're done with that. And I like to take my bone folder and push that down to make sure we've got a good bond there, because this will get used quite a bit. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the paper backing off of one of these. Okay, now with the tape side up, we're going to take this and put it underneath at the center. Make sure that your point is at the center of your circle, and then you put the edge of your banner, per se, right at the score line of the front of this card. Okay, try and make sure that your circle, that your point is pretty much in the center of the circle. And the circle is, so it's 1 7/8, of course. 4/4. So, so that's probably pretty darn close to the center. All right. It looks like it's in the center to me. So now what you're going to do is you are going to fold this flap over onto that banner and see how it comes back. And you can use your bone folder on that again. Now you're going to take the other side and take the paper backing off. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And what I found is one of these was a little bit longer, so I ended up having to cut the points off of it, but you're never going to see it. Okay? So then what you're going to do is you're going to slip this either under or over, but both of those banner points have to either be on the above or below the of your other banner. Now, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that they're lined up with each other and straight. Oops, I'm attached there. I gotta get where there's better light. Okay, that looks like it's pretty good. Is it? No. Okay, we're sticking up a little bit there. So that should bring it. What I do is I close the other one to make sure that those, look at how close those points are. I did that. Again, I'm trying to get these 2 points where they're even with each other. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this other flap over, press that down to get it to adhere, and pull it back. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and just press that down so you've got a nice crisp crease. And I'm going to close this up. And it's hitting on one of these, and so what I have to do is figure out which one is. The top one is the one I cut off before. So let's just use these scissors, and I just picked. I pulled it out from underneath so that I could. Even if you have to cut both of them, both sides off, I'm not cutting that much off. It's just so it doesn't bump up against the other side. And they don't have to be perfect. Now let's see if that will work or if I have to cut off the other one. Nope, they're perfect. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Okay. And again, you'll never see that. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this. I don't remember what they call this tape. This is called snail adhesive. I used it on the other one. I'll show you what the inside looks like now. And it really marked up. So I'm not good at putting this on. I think I'd rather use tear and tape on this. Again, that's up to you. I wouldn't use the liquid glue because that's going to kind of tend to possibly get messy. This at least I can control where it is. It's not going to smear when I try to put it in there. So I know it's called tear and tape, but I'm not real good at the tear part. Okay, and we'll just put a short piece here. And a short piece here. Now let's just put a short piece here. That should be plenty. That should be more than enough. And so what I'm going to do is make sure it's all adhered well. Just using my bone folder to push it down. Take your pick tool to take the paper backing off. And throwing it around. My husband just loves all this. He goes, "What is all this paper from on the floor?" Well, it's from me throwing it on the floor because I don't have time to throw it in the wastebasket. And I know you're going to vacuum. Dirty tear and tape. All right, so I also have a pair of tweezers. Tweezers come in handy when you're doing stamping projects. So what you want to do is to get your, try not to put the tweezers on the tape or else they will become attached to each other. So you're going to put your little die. Again, I use the same die that I used to cut out the center. So sometimes you have to kind of bend things around. And let's see. What I'm trying to do is center it and make sure that it's kind of straight. It looks, because it looks pretty even all the way around. I'm going for it. Isn't that cute? Look at that. Okay, now you can take the, I'm going to put one more piece of dimensionals up at the top. Oop. Try to get it on straight. You can do this. Okay, just take the backing off of your dimensionals that you had at the top. All right. And now you can push that down. Look at that, isn't that cute? Now, let's get that out of the way. I just took a scrap of Whisper White, and again, I don't know if, I mean, my blade isn't that old. So, all right. Scrap of Whisper White, and there's my Old Olive. And the sentiment I'm using is, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And that's hoping I can get this on straight. Okay. And in the center, I had one little boo-boo, that's why that rhinestone was there. But that's what you do. Okay, pretty good. And then I thought, okay, what am I gonna do? Look it. Isn't that perfect? Look at that. This is the piece we cut out from the banners. Neato. And all I did was I put dimensionals in the center of the back of my sentiment. And again, make sure you use everything around the edge because it is good to go. Okay, my paper snips would do much better than these. And again, I only put it in the center because you got to remember, you don't want it attaching down to your card. So I put one, I don't know what that is, one there, and I just basically put them right next to each other in the center. That should be enough to keep it from bending too much. Okay, and just make sure that it is the right side up. Oops, there's a little pencil mark there. Okay, and we're just going to center this. Looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to use our liquid glue, and we're only going to glue to the center on the left-hand side because you want your card to open. And don't put that much glue on. Alrighty. And we are going to put that down in the center. As straight as you can. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to take some of this gorgeous sheer ribbon, and it's real red, and we're just going to make a bow. And this ribbon is very easy to tie. I always tie my bows while they're still on the roll. I would be using way too much ribbon, or wasting way too much ribbon. And I can do this. I did it earlier. Sometimes you have to use your mouth. Get it down small and then work it out. And there you go. Isn't that cute? Let's make that side a little bit. No, that's too small. Which side? Which is it? Front or the back? I think it's the front. No, it's the back. Okay, push those out. I think my snips. Is that the same? Yeah, they are. Okay. All right, so we're gonna snip it like that. Let's cut off some of this. And we're cutting like that. All right, and we're going to take a mini glue dot, and I'm going to take your pick tool and roll it up a little bit, and put that on the back of my bow. And I put it up here in the corner. And now we have got some holiday rhinestone basic jewels. These are out of the annual catalog. They are a carryover from last year's mini holiday catalog. And I used the real red. I used a big one on the sentiment. And then I used two of the smaller ones. One down in the corner. You could put these anywhere you want. You don't have to put them where I put them. And there you go. There you have. Isn't that adorable? I love it. I will have all the dimensions up as soon as I can get them up. I promise, I promise, I promise. Dimensions, links to all the products that I used. I want to thank you so much, and remember, from now on, I will be doing my Facebook Lives on Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Card Sketch Wednesday will begin again this coming Wednesday. It will also be at 10 o'clock Pacific Time. I hope you enjoyed these today. I loved having you here. I hope you all stay safe and healthy. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them, and I do my best to get back to everything and respond within 24 to 48 hours. Thank you. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.